What's up guys, it's George at Yuyu, and in today's video I'm going to show you how to start your weight loss journey, or actually where to start your weight loss journey, and how to keep track of your calories. This is a boxing channel, so this is more directed towards fighters, but if you like to go to the gym or if you're an athlete, play a different sport, the same principles apply. First and foremost, this is a weight loss video, not a weight cut video. Those are two completely different approaches and goals. Weight loss means you're losing weight gradually over time, preferably coming from fat. Weight cut is the last week leading up to weigh-in, where you're losing weight mainly through electrolyte manipulation, water, getting rid of food content that's in your system, and depleting glycogen stores. So if you're a fighter looking to lose the last couple of pounds leading up to weigh-in, this is not the video for you. I'll work on a weight cut video in the future. If you're a boxer and you have a fight date 6 to 10 weeks from now and you want to lose weight slowly, then this is the video for you. If you're new to the channel, I love sharing advice on boxing, nutrition, exercise, life of a boxer, behind the scenes footage on boxing events. So if any of those topics interest you, please make sure to subscribe so you can stay up to date with the latest video. You need to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. We've heard this before and it's true. Doesn't matter if you're doing paleo, keto, Mediterranean, vegan, high carb, low carb, whatever. It does not matter. You have to be in a calorie deficit if you want to lose weight. And if you're in a calorie surplus, you're gonna gain weight. The math is very simple, but the human metabolism is actually very complex. Not only are how many calories you eat in the weight loss equation, but the source those calories are coming from, how much activity you do throughout the day, your sleep hygiene, stress management, nutrient deficiencies, your body's battle for homeostasis. You need to take all of that into consideration. Ever notice when you're deep in a weight loss phase and you just don't move as much as you normally do? You probably talk slower, you're more tired. You don't want to do things that you normally do. That's your body trying to bring you back to normal. So with all that being said, weight loss can be complicated, but it's achievable. So where do we start? If you're a fighter, you know either your coach, your family member, someone you know has told you, eat more vegetables, eat clean foods, drink more water, sleep 8 hours a day, take your vitamins, all of those things, and they're right. But if you're watching this video, you probably don't want to hear that. You want to hear more of a eat 2,500 calories, X amount of protein, X amount of carbs, X amount of fats, drink this much water. You want a little bit more specific information. Developing good eating habits will help 90% of the people, which can also be another future video, but this video is going to be more directed towards boxers. Okay, so how many calories should you eat? So there's a spectrum. You're either gaining weight or you're losing weight, and you have two extremes on each side. Depending on how much time you have to lose a certain amount of weight will determine the aggressiveness of the weight loss phase. For example, let's say you have two people with identical size and weight, but one has to lose 10 pounds in 1 month and the other has to lose 5 pounds in 1 month. The person losing 10 pounds in 1 month is going to have to be in a greater calorie deficit compared to the person that only needs to lose 5 pounds. Not only would the calorie deficit need to be greater, but more than likely unsustainable in the long run. So just keep that in mind. Okay, if you don't know what your calorie maintenance is, meaning how many calories you eat day in and day out and still stay in the same weight, then you need to figure that out first. If you're a boxer, chances are you're training twice a day, 5 to 7 days a week. That means you probably need to eat more than the average person going to the gym 3 to 5 times out of the week. However, keep in mind the harder you train earlier in the day, the less you're going to want to move for the rest of the day. That's important to know because calories aren't expended just when you work out. You also burn calories through non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which means talking, fidgeting, moving your hands, walking your dog, cleaning your house, things you wouldn't normally consider exercise compared to your real training. Again, this is important to know because a great portion of your total daily energy expenditure comes from your non-exercise activities. Okay, first thing you need to do is figure out how many calories you need to be eating. Honestly, a great place to start is looking at an online calorie calculator. Once you find one, you can input your age, your height, your weight, your goal weight, your estimated activity throughout the day, and it'll give you a few numbers, and these are just estimations. So let's use myself for example. I'm going to use a couple different websites and let's see what the numbers come out. So let me screen record this. All right, so I'm on freedieting.com. By the way, I'm not sponsored by any of these websites. I'm on freedieting.com and calculator.net. So this just says calorie calculator daily caloric needs. So input your age. You're gonna put your gender, 150 pounds. I'm 5'8", exercise level. I train twice daily, 5 to 6 days a week. So you just input your numbers and see what comes up. So it says here, maintenance is 2,831. fat loss 2265, extreme fat loss 1699. Okay, so let's go to the other website. Okay, so age 25, gender, height 5'8", weight 150, exercise, I would say, you have to be realistic too. You can't be like, oh, you work out extremely hard, unless you really do. Some people do. So I'm going to put very active, intense exercise 6 to 7 times a week. We're going to calculate, and pretty similar. So maintenance here says 2,829, mild weight loss 2579, weight loss 2329. So notice the weight loss, it says 1 pound per week, and that's going to be exactly 500 calories from your maintenance. So again, these are just estimations. You just put in numbers, and this is a good place to start. Okay, now that you have your maintenance calories or your estimated maintenance calories, you can try different approaches. So using myself as an example, it said 2,800 calories was my estimated calorie need. Once you start eating clean, you'll notice that 2,800 calories is actually a lot of food. Next is setting your macronutrients. And I'm not going to go into too much detail, but your macros are your protein, fats, and carbs. All very important in the context of boxing. Proteins to help you recover, maintain lean tissue, improve satiety. Carbs to help you perform better in the gym and also helps you in recovery. And fats to have healthy hormonal function. Again, not going into too much detail, but I set my protein for 1 gram per pound of body weight, and I'll remain there throughout the whole weight loss phase. So 150 pounds equals 150 grams of protein, which is 600 calories, because 1 gram of protein equals 4 calories. So since I have 150, it equals 600 calories. Now, our maintenance was 2,800, so we subtract 600, which leaves us with 2,200 calories left over. Now, the next 2 macronutrients can be customized to one's liking, but boxing is a glycolytic sport, meaning it's very intense, which also means you need to prioritize carbohydrates around your training. So don't be scared of carbs until the last week of your weight cut. That's when things need to be changed a bit. So after you have your protein down, let's figure out your fats. I don't like going too low on the fats. I like to keep it between 30 to 35% of the total calorie needs. So let's use 30% of our total energy. 30% of 2,800 is 840. Divide that by 9 because 9 calories are in 1 gram of fat. You get 93 grams of fat. So we have 150 grams of protein, which equals 600 calories. We have 93 grams of fat, which equals 840, which puts the total to 1,440 calories. The remainder of our calories will come from carbohydrates. So 2,800 minus 1,440 leaves us with, 1,360 calories left over. And we're going to use that for carbs. So 1,360 divided by 4, because 4 calories are in 1 gram of carbohydrate, gives us 340 grams of carbs. So we just figured out our macros for our 2,800 calorie maintenance diet, which is 150 grams of protein. We have 340 grams of carbs and 93 grams of fat. Next, assuming you have plenty of time till your fight date, use the first 2 weeks to actually confirm the maintenance calorie amount. So what I would do is eat 2,800 calories for 2 weeks and see how my weight fluctuates. If I start at 150 pounds and after the 2 weeks of consistently eating 2,800 calories, I'm up or down 1 pound, then that's my maintenance calories. Keep in mind your weight will fluctuate based on fluids, your carbohydrates, if you had a high sodium meal, your last meal, the time of the day that you weigh in. All that will affect the number on the scale. So try to have a consistent schedule, preferably weigh yourself in the morning, naked, while fasted. Okay, so 2 weeks have gone by and I'm maintaining 2,800 calories. So I've confirmed that that's my maintenance calories. Now the fun part begins and we can start the weight loss phase. If I would have gained weight from eating those 2,800 calories, that means I'm in a calorie surplus. If I would have lost weight, then that means I would be in a calorie deficit. But since my weight stayed the same, that's my maintenance calories. Depending on how quickly and how much weight you have to lose will determine the aggressiveness of the deficit. Keep in mind, the more aggressive you are, the harder the sustainability of the diet will be. You're going to be hungry, irritable, unable to recover, and you're going to see your performance suffer in the gym. So let's keep it simple and do a 500 calorie deficit. In theory, this should put you at a 1 pound of fat loss per week. I personally like to do a mixture of food decrease and exercise increase to achieve that deficit. So instead of just cutting 500 calories from my food, I'll cut 300 calories and add a walk. More recently, I've been into disc golf, which is good because it keeps my mind occupied and I'm walking up and down the hills. So if you can find a different activity that doesn't feel taxing, that'll be great to help in your weight loss phase. So I just went from eating 2,800 calories and maintaining weight to 2,500 calories and adding some activity in addition to my normal training to losing weight. Now that's only going to be about a pound of weight loss per week. If you need to lose more weight and faster, you're going to have to create a greater deficit. Keep in mind, if you're doing an extreme weight loss, you're going to have an extreme weight gain after you're done with your diet. As the weeks progress and you get closer to your fight date, you're going to have to decrease your calorie intake. So this can come from a mixture of carbs and fats. So going from 2,800 to 2,500 calories gives me a 300 calorie deficit. I would cut about 30 to 40 grams of carbs and 50 to 20 grams of fats. Play around with your macros a bit. I'd say don't cut your protein intake unless you really have to. And if you do, don't go below 0.8 grams per pound of body weight, because then you won't recover and you're going to be hungrier and you'll lose lean mass at a faster rate. So to keep it the same example, starting weight 150 pounds. Let's say I want to weigh 135 pounds, but I want to save 4% for the weight cut week. That puts me at 140 pounds, which means I need to lose 10 pounds. Again, I'm speaking from a realistic boxing perspective, not the general population or a different sport. Yes, it'd be nice and much safer to fight at the weight that you walk around at, but that's probably not going to happen in this sport. All right, so let's say we have an 8-week training camp. So 7 weeks of gradual weight loss and 1 week of the weight cut. Our starting maintenance calories is 2,800. Let's take the example we just did. We're going to cut 300 calories from our food and we're going to add a 20-minute walk. And that's going to be our base. So throughout the whole training camp, you're going to be walking 20 minutes until we switch it up. So week 1, you're going to eat 2,500 calories and your activity stays the same. Week 2, you're going to eat 2,400 calories, activity stays the same. Week 3, you eat 2,400 calories, but you're going to increase your activity anywhere from 15 to 30 minutes. This will be your new activity base. So let's say you were walking 20 minutes before, now you're walking 35 to 50 minutes a day. Week 4, you're eating 2,300 calories, activity stays the same. Week 5, 2,200 calories, activity stays the same. Week 6, 2,100 calories, and week 7, 2,000 calories. Notice there's a linear decrease in calories as the weeks progress, and it's a pretty steep deficit from where we began. We started at 2,800 calories. We cut 800 calories from our food in just 7 weeks. Again, this is just an example, not 100% accurate numbers. This is the approach I take, and I adjust along the way depending on how much weight I'm losing. You may be losing weight at a much rapid speed, and if I'm losing more than 2 pounds per week, then I eat a little bit more on a Sunday, and I enjoy it more, and I actually perform better the next day because of the extra calories that I consume. Again, you don't have to take this approach, so you can stay at 2,500 calories for, let's say, I don't know, 2 to 3 weeks, and then once you stop losing weight, then you can cut back another 200, 250 calories. The reason I like to do the linear calorie decrease throughout the weeks is because it gives me more freedom and more room for error. For example, let's say I have a long day or I'm out away from home and I don't have my food scale with me or any meals with me. I can stop at a Subway or I can stop get an acai bowl, flame broiler, whatever, and I can just estimate how many calories I had for that meal. One thing I make sure to do is I do prioritize carbohydrates around my training, whether I'm towards the end of my weight loss phase and I'm eating lower carb. I still want to hug my training with carbohydrates, and my go-tos are always oatmeal, rice, and fruits. So again, this isn't a perfect approach, but I found it's much easier to sustain for myself. It's aggressive, but not too aggressive, where I find myself binging and suffering every other day. A mistake I see a lot of fighters make, and trust me, I'm speaking from experience, is either waiting too long to start cutting calories or just completely cutting calories from the very beginning. So like, let's say you're used to eating 3,000 calories, boom, cut to 1,500 calories. Yes, you're going to see a dramatic weight change. You might lose 5-6 pounds in the first week, but that raises the chances of you breaking the diet and binging, and you have to start all over again. So that's pretty much how I set my calories and macros to lose weight for boxing. A quick recap, let me read real quick. So number one is find your maintenance calories, and you can do that through using a calorie calculator. Try it out for 2 weeks, and if you're not gaining or losing weight, then you're at maintenance. 2 is set your macronutrient goals. I like 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, about 30% of total calories coming from fat, and whatever's left over can come from carbs. Number 3, cut about 300 calories when you're starting off, and incorporate more activity that's not going to be taxing, like a 20-minute walk. You'll notice it's actually therapeutic and can promote recovery. And the last, number 4, is have a linear decrease in calories throughout the weeks leading up to weigh-in. And of course, that will vary per person. And this can also be achieved through adding a little bit more exercise. That's pretty much it, along with counting your calories and tracking your macros. Make sure you're eating your fruits and vegetables. Try to get different colors in your diet. Try to get lean protein sources. Stay hydrated. Don't be afraid of sodium early of your training camp, like early on throughout your training camp. Even the last week you can still have it. It's just the last couple of days where you have to be careful with sodium intake. So go ahead and drink your electrolyte drink, whatever it is. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. And I hope everyone has a great and successful 2022. Happy New Year. Thanks for watching.